I think I identify as a lazy, low maintenance, probably gonna reach out to you once a month friend. Hi, my name is Jora Gwedi, and this is All Things People podcast.
Pounce on that shit, dance, dance. Bounce on that shit, dance, dance. Bounce on that shit, dance, dance. Bounce on that shit, no hands. Bounce on that shit, dance, dance. Bounce on that shit, dance, dance. Bounce on that shit, dance, dance. Bounce on that shit, no.
I honestly have no idea why I thought this would be such a great topic to talk about friendships. I don't think I have all the information or all the knowledge about friendships, but hey, I'm here to give my opinion and my thoughts on this topic whilst I share my experience throughout my lifetime. I hope you're going to enjoy this episode. I, for one, have always grown up as a confident kid. Like when it comes to making friends and just being friends with people who are around me, I've always just been a confident kid. But then growing up, I don't know what happened. Like, is that social anxiety I'm smelling right now? I just don't know what happened. But before I dive into every little detail, you already know what my eyes have seen.
Damn. Damn.
Now, this week, what caught my attention is honestly the VMAs. So Tyla obviously won Best Afrobeat of the Year, and she was called to take her award up there. When she went up there, this is not the first time Tyla was unable to carry her award. She was like, guys, you know me and carrying awards. And she requested one of the people who were there. It was Lil Nas and Halle Bailey. So the internet went off because they're saying Tyla was being kind of weird for asking Halle to help her with the award. But the thing is, she didn't even mention any name. She just mentioned, can one of you guys help me with the award, please? It's really heavy. She said, thank you. And she said, I'm sorry. And obviously during that moment, Halle was her body language was very clear that she's not going to be the one to carry this award. So Lil Nas stepped forward and he took the award. My thing is, the internet is going crazy about how they didn't like Tyla's energy about that why wouldn't she want to carry her award? This is the thing. This ain't even the first woman to say that about an award. This isn't even the first woman to ask somebody to help her with the award. Kwanzaa, she even said, I'm sorry, and she said, thank you. She said, thank you for doing this for me. And she said, I'm sorry for having you do this for me. And she's still getting hate and backlash for doing that. I just think it's a bit crazy. And I think it's very insane that people will say this and then they will come and say, African artists are looking down upon Black Americans. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Even you who's listening, isn't that crazy? Because Cardi B has asked somebody to hold her award. Taylor Swift has asked somebody to hold her award because it was crazy heavy. But then when Tyla does it, it becomes a cultural thing. It becomes a crazy thing to do. It becomes out of manner. What is going on? I just don't get it. Kwanzaa, I was listening to a podcast full of men, and one of these guys was saying that they don't like Tyla's energy, and that particular moment kind of enforced his views and his feelings on Tyla. I just thought it was a bit much for everybody to be acting crazy like that, as if that was the first time they ever heard somebody ask somebody else to help them with the award. She said sorry. She said thank you. What more do you need from a girl? What more do you need from a girl? She said thank you. She said I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Some people would just try to change the conversation and make a big deal out of the tiniest of things. I just don't understand why that was happening, and it just caught my attention, and it just made me see that there's people who are going to talk shit whether you do great or you do not great. So you just do you, boo. Okay? You just do you.
Damn. Damn.
Now, I was talking to you guys about friendships, and I just wanted to start this from the roots of it, okay? So I've always grown up as a confident kid. As far as I can remember, I've always just been confident. I've never really been a shy person. I've always been a go kid, okay? And then when I started growing up, I started being crazy, weirdly anxious around some people. And I don't really understand how that came about because I've always been an extrovert growing up. And then now, as an adult, I'm starting to feel and seem like an introvert in a way. I don't understand it. But the thing is, I've realized about myself that when I spend time with people and like I acclimatize to their mannerisms, I kind of get used to it and I can now be my real extrovert and a really loud self and be very friendly and talk to anybody or whoever, okay? But I just don't get it. Like, why does it feel so awkward meeting people as a grown-up? Like, this was a non-issue when I was a kid. But now as a grown-up, I'm just like very anxious around some people. And this is not all the time. This is just sometimes I get really anxious about getting to know new people or making new friends or talking to new people or having to, talk about myself again to like other people. I just don't get it. This is so crazy because just recently, I told you guys about how I started going to a new church, right? So I went to that new church. But then the thing is, I've never ever gone to a different church in my life, except for the church that I used to go to. And I think I might go back. I'm not so sure about that. The thing is, in this new church, I don't know anybody there. I have no friends there. So when I went to church and I attended the service, the sermon, everything was so great up until it got to after the sermon. And I was like, oh shit, I have no one to say hi to. I don't know anyone here. I'm feeling super awkward. I should just like go away. Okay. Plus, to add on to things, I just felt like I was attending a friend of a friend's graduation and I just don't know anyone there. And even the person who's like my closest friend is not even there. And I just don't even know the person who's graduating, like that's the best way I can explain how I felt like being there. So not having a friend or anyone that I know of was like a bit awkward, okay? Now I want to go back to my childhood era. If I was a kid in this new church, I just feel like I would have left the first Sunday I went there with like 5-10 friends already. But now as a grown-up, I'm feeling more socially awkward and like socially anxious, and I'm just a runaway friend or a runaway wannabe friend. Am I allowed to call it that? I don't know. But that's just how I feel. And it's just really annoying. Because, there's many aspects as a young adult. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm an adult. There's so many aspects in your life that you pay attention to that sometimes keeping up with people can be such a task, because you're worried about your schoolwork or your work or your family, that keeping up with people can just be a whole task. And I feel like I have an explanation to why it feels like a task. It's because remember as kids, you never thought to put effort into meeting your friends. You just did, right? You never thought to play with your friends. You just did, right? Like you weren't really, I don't want to use this word because anyways, I'm gonna just use it. You weren't really intentional about being friends with somebody. You were just friends with them, right? You just met with them and you were friends with them. It wasn't about when you guys were going to meet out and play. You kind of just did, right? Because you were in the same place at the same time doing the same thing, right? And now as a grown up, because you have different things to do in your life and your friends don't necessarily go to the place that you work, you don't necessarily live in the same county or just anywhere close to each other, it becomes really difficult. And that's why it's starting to feel like a chore, like a task, like you're required to do this, right? Like if you don't do this, you're not an intentional person. You're not intentional with your friendships. For me and all my friendships, it's just always been a same place, same time, doing the same thing situation. I can tell you every friend of mine that I have, we got together at a particular location because we spent a lot of time there doing the same thing. Like I have a primary school friend, I have a high school friend, I have a uni friend, I have church friends, I have work friends. And that's exactly how they come together. So now I just feel like something that I struggle with personally is just maintaining a friendship if we're not in the same place, same time, doing the same thing. Because now it becomes a chore. It becomes I'm required to do this. It becomes something I need to add to my to-do list. And it stops being effortless and it starts being really effortful. And to be honest, I'm of the perception that you can have friends even without being at the same place, same time, same location, doing the same thing. And you don't necessarily have to make it a chore. Now because you're not meeting every day or now because you're not really going out on this hidden gems or, doing sleepovers. It can seem like you guys are not intentional about your friendships. Because my intentions with you are to just be real with you that my life right now does not revolve around putting a lot of energy and effort in the friendship, but rather in my work or in my schoolwork. or I'm really just trying to keep my head above the water about the new place I moved to. But then if we base intentionality in friendships about meeting up and just doing something fun together all the time, then it makes real friendship look like it's not real. Then because you're not meeting up, it seems like there's no intention to meet up, right? And because of this connotation, or I know it's a thing and I know it actually is like that. And I know that there's people who function like that. If you're not intentional about meeting them or talking to them on calls, maybe a weekly or daily or maybe twice a week, I know there's people who have a problem with that. But funny thing, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem if you don't feel like talking to me in a month or 2 months or 3 months, I just know if we link up, it's going to be crazy, right? That's the thing. Am I the problem? Anyways, I already told you guys before the episode that I am a lazy, low maintenance friend, so you're not allowed to judge me. I just think that because there's such a wave and there's more people and a lot of friendships that are very intentional and effortful. Is that a word? I'm just using it. Anyways, you know what I mean. Like there's just a lot of effort put into that friendship. A lot of successful friendships have that common denominator of the effort put in the friendship and the intentionality when it comes to meeting up or like calling each other weekly and stuff. That it's starting to make friendships that don't look like that feel like they're not real, or they're not nice friendships, or they're not the best of friendships. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of making them seem like that's not how it's supposed to be. If you don't put as much effort as you are putting in your workplace or in your schoolwork, then this friendship is not going to work. And maybe that's true, but in my experience, that hasn't really been true in that way. I still feel like all the people that are my friends, even with all the laziness and the very low maintenance. They're still my friends. I don't know how I made it work. I just don't know how that works for me. And actually one time I tried to make a friend, and I think I might have been ghosted by that person because I texted them. I really wanted to be their friend. I even reached out to them. I took their number. I was very happy. I was very giggly and feeling all the butterflies and every nice thing that you can feel before you make or create something nice. I was really very hopeful about that friendship. I told every one of my friends about this person, and then that girl done ghosted me. Or I don't know, I'm not sure. Did she really ghost me? I kind of understood it because I feel like I'm the same way. She's probably just like me, and she's unable to, maintain friendships that are away from the same place, same time, doing the same thing. Is that a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing. It works for me. I don't think it's a bad thing. Is it? Because at that time, that was the time in my life where I thought having many friends was the cool thing, so that we can do like really cool sleepovers and like do really weird, cool challenges on TikTok, go on really cool trips and do weird trending stuff like rainbow picnics and stuff. I was really excited about making new friends. It was one of my goals. I let go of that one because I was just like, you know what? I've been blessed with the ones that I have, and I'm very grateful. And I don't know why I want to have more. In fact, I'm unable to maintain those people that I'm chasing. So why am I seeking so much more? Well, my cup is already full. You know what I'm saying? And then I came to realize that those types of friends, they must really put a lot of energy and a lot of intention, behind their friendships and the way that they meet up, the way that they communicate regularly. And that, to me, honestly, I've tried it, but it barely works, to be honest. Because I just feel like every one of my friends is almost the same way. Like they don't talk until they meet up with your friends. Weird, right? Like I just feel like we're the same way. And that's why it works. Maybe that's why I don't even have group chats. No, I'm not even. Okay, I was about to make that joke about how the trip has finally made it out the group chat, but I don't even have a group chat. This is why it's so hard to even have like a successful meeting. At this point, I feel like I've just resorted to video calls and just regular calls if I don't text you or send you a TikTok on TikTok. It's a difficult thing, but right now and in the space that I'm in, I feel comfortable being the way that I am, having the friends that I have. And obviously there's been an era for friendships should be very intentional. You should check up on your friends regularly. Yes, you should. By the way, yes, you should meet up with them weekly, have like a plan. Like it's been made to feel very, I don't know what other word to use, but like it's been made to feel like a chore, like school, like school, like you have to go to school. like you have to go to work. Like it's been made to feel very effortful. I don't even know what other words to use to describe this. And I just wonder if it's not like that. Is there a possibility of it not working? Because not gonna lie, every single one of my friends is a long-term friend. My oldest friend, I met them in primary. And then the next one, I met them in high school. And then the next one, I met them in uni. And then I have a few church friends. And now I'm starting to make work friends. And I just feel like, does it not work if you don't put that much effort and intentionality? I kind of do. I do call my friends like regularly. It might be once a month or twice a month, but it works. So I just don't understand why there's a lot of negative energy when it comes to, you know what? Maybe we'll understand this. This is such a broad topic. I'm going to have to revisit this with a guest who's very informative when it comes to friendships. Right now, all I know about friendships, I have learned in my life. Some of them I've learned in other people's lives. And some of them I'm trying to implement them in my life. I know one thing, you need to know your worth. Like, what is your worth? Just know you. What are you worth? Are you worth that kind of treatment? Are you worth much better? If you're not the type of person to have a lazy friend and you're out here rolling with joy, maybe you should know your worth and let go of joy, right? Maybe you should know your worth. Maybe you deserve better, right? Maybe you actually deserve better than joy. So babe, just know your worth and you'll be better at making friends, right? Also, when you're making friends, maintain your values and your principles. This way you attract the same type of people who have the same values and same principles, and you don't have to conflict and butt heads when you're having discussions or conversations. You're like butting heads at things that are non-negotiable. You don't want that. Imagine having friends who think of things differently. Every time you make an opinion, they're just against it. It's a bit hard. Of course, there's going to be times where your friends and you don't agree on the same thing. But if it's all the time, don't you have the same values, same principles? Like, why are you not agreeing on this together? That's crazy. Just try and find friends who have the same values and principles as you. That way, at least you are avoiding a lot of confrontation and conflict within your friendships. Another thing, if you're trying to make friends, is, I want to say put yourself out there, but to be honest, I don't even know how that looks like anymore. Is it attending events or doing activities? Yeah, probably. So attend events, do activities that you're interested in. That way, this is so fire. How did I even come up with this? That way, you meet people who are interested in the same things. And guess what? Doing the same thing at the same time in the same place, that's a really cool way to make a friend. Plus, if you get to know them and your values and principles align, perfect. See, you've made a friend. So put yourself out there. Don't be shy. And if you're a shy person, try not to be when you're trying to make friends. You can make the friends and then go back to being shy. At least you've made your friends, right? Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it, and then you can go back to being the real you. This is such bad advice. Why would I tell somebody to be fake? Apparently, another thing you can do is make friends on social media. Not gonna lie, till this day, I have not made a friend on social media. I just feel like everyone there is working, or they're just trying to be funny, or I don't even know, bro. I haven't made a friend on social media. I have no idea how to do that, but apparently people do actually make friends on social media. So I don't know if that's commenting on their stuff or DMing them and being like, oh my God, I think what you were doing here is really cool. We should do this together sometime. I don't even know how making friends on social media works. How does it work? This one, I feel like it works if you guys are influencers and then you meet up and it's oh my God, see, we're doing the same thing here. And then you'd make a friendship out of that. But regular people who are not social media obsessed, how you make friends on there? I really do not know. This is why I have to revisit this topic. Because of this. See, I don't know everything. I know some things, but not everything for sure. Another thing, if you're trying to make friends, is that you're going to have to be a confident person. If you're not a confident person, maybe just act like you're confident, and then that's how you eventually become confident. I don't know if it... I'm doing a lot of asking you to fake it till you make it on this episode. But hear me out. It works sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it does. So be confident. If you're not getting invited to things, then take it upon yourself to do the inviting. Because sometimes you are just one date away to making your best friend, or to being or meeting the best ever friend that you will ever have in your life. So be confident. And if you're not getting invited to things, hear me out. You take it upon yourself and do the inviting. Some people might say no the first time, the second time, the third time, but like by the time you do it like for 5 times, you will have made a few friends, right? See, we're heading somewhere here, right? Another thing that I've discovered about friendships, I genuinely thought that attachment styles had everything to do with romantic relationships and nothing to do with platonic relationships. Imagine. So there's like 4 of them, right? Avoidant, secure, anxious, and fearful avoidant. Do you know that these attachment styles, they actually shape how you approach trust and communication and also conflicts in your friendships? Because the way that you are as a person is the way that you manifest in your friendships. Now, the time I took this test, I was trying to figure myself out as a romantic partner. But you can actually take the test trying to figure yourself out in a friendships and platonic situation. Like, how are you in friendships? Crazy thing, right? In fact, actually, I did my research and I got a few notes on the attachment style. So I'm just gonna read a few things that I got on here. Okay. All right. So if you're a secure attachment type of person, you tend to have a healthy, balanced friendship and they're very comfortable with closeness and independence, and you can rely on your friends without being overly dependent. So that's like for a person who's secure in their friendships, right? So you're very comfortable being vulnerable around your friends and you're very good at conflict resolution and you set boundaries without fear of losing your friends. Like you're not scared. You're very secure that this is what you want. This is how you are and this is how you're going to live. If you're good, we can be friends. If you're not, we cannot be friends. Like you're very dependent also. Another attachment style is, so if you're an anxious attachment style type of person, then this is how you are in friendships. You may come across as needy or insecure, and you frequently seek validation or you feel hurt when your friends are unavailable. You might also overextend yourself to please your friends, hoping for acceptance. Oh, this is so sad. You don't need accept. This is the thing. So for example, like me, I don't think I can be friends with an anxious attachment type of friend person. Am I saying it right? I just don't think I'm at a place where I can be there for you every day or accommodate your neediness or frequently just validate your feelings. Plus, imagine, I don't want you to feel hurt because I'm mostly more than 50% unavailable. I know, I feel so bad like even saying this, but I just think this is like my truth, right? This is just how I am as a person. What attachment style do I think I am? I genuinely think I'm a secure type of person. I don't think... All right, let's just go through all of them. You guys can tell me which attachment style you think I am. But I already think I'm a secure person. Next one is avoidant attachment style. So in friendships, you can be very distant, you avoid opening up, and you struggle to ask for help or lean on friends emotionally. Also, you tend to keep your friendships more superficial or casual. You know, it's like a casual thing. Now, this is not me. Why? Because I'm a very vulnerable person. I never feel awkward like being vulnerable around people. It just takes time for me, but I just never feel awkward. If it's my friend, I'm going to get vulnerable with you. This is why I don't think I'm over here. Maybe like years ago, 2-3 years ago, I absolutely would have fitted into this bracket for avoidant attachment. But right now, I just think I'm very secure with my friendships and like the way that I feel about my friends and the way that they feel about me. The next attachment style is fearful avoidant. So in friendships, you may be inconsistent. Sometimes you may be very overly involved and then suddenly again, you're very distant. You might have a hard time trusting friends and fearing both intimacy and rejection. Oh, sometimes they overgive and then other times they don't give it at all. Okay, so it's like I'm being overly loving and then I withdraw from that because I just feel like they don't want to give it all to you because they're avoiding closeness. Get it? These are the attachment styles. So I know this is like, I don't want this episode to be like super, super long, but I just know that friendships and Kwanzaa, now that I've mentioned the attachment styles, this is such a broad topic just by itself. And I feel like I'm going to have to revisit this with a guest sometime soon. But like reading these attachment styles, I hope that you try and figure out what bracket you fit into, because as soon as you know yourself and you understand your friends' attachment styles, then you can be a better friend, can be a better friend to your friends. So what I'm going to do is leave a link on the description of this episode for you to get to know yourself. And also you can share it with your friends so that you can get to know each other and then you can know how you can show up for each other as friends, right? This has been such a fun little friendship episode. I feel like I haven't talked that much. I feel like friendship is such a broad topic. I feel like I haven't exhausted every little detail that I have in my head about friends. There's so much to go around, but hey, we're going to do this again some other time. Thank you so much for clicking this episode, for being here. Don't forget to follow this episode, like this episode as well. I keep forgetting to ask you guys to like it, right? Like it and check us out on social media. Well, as is just me, Joy Ogwedi. So that's All Things People podcast on all social media platforms. And mine is Joy_Ogwedi on social media platforms. All right. I hope you have a lovely week and I will catch you later.
Damn.